Hi, I'm Whitney, and this is Brandon, and we love to tell true crime stories. We've got a lot of opinions and absolutely no qualifications. So welcome to
Criminally Unqualified.
All right. Well, today I have a 1950s caper for you.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very excited. Like a 50s caper. See? Do you like my little cigar?
Shay.
Say.
Shay.
Okay, so in today's episode, this heist was carefully planned and executed, and in total, over $30 million, like in today's money, was
Wow.
stolen. And it was considered at the time the crime of the century.
30 million.
It is. I feel like you're going to really like this one.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to share it today. So, Brandon, what are you bringing to the podcast today?
Funny you should ask. I got a fun little game we're going to play.
Ooh, okay. I love
There's
fun games.
4 questions.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's going to be a game of what kills more people per year.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So I believe this is on average. But so the first one's going to be roller coasters or champagne corks.
What the fuck? I
Yeah.
want to say roller coasters, but champagne corks feels like the underdog.
Okay.
Champagne corks.
Correct. 24 people per year. Champagne corks. They can travel up to 55 miles per hour, which is...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that thing is flying. It beam you in the eyeball, and the next thing you know...
It's bad news bears.
Bad news bears.
Beers. Okay, what's my next one?
All right. Hot air balloons or just plain old regular balloons? The basic bitch of balloons.
The basic bitch of balloons, because I feel like that might be like a choking hazard for kids and pets.
Yep, correct. You're killing it. On average, 17 people per year.
No, that's balloons are killing it per your fact, but go on.
That's right. All right, sharks or vending machines?
Oh, vending machines. Because I'm just picking the one that sounds like least like it. Because people try to shake that shit, which I get. They each fucking dollar or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
You
if
stick your arm.
trying to skip me on some Lay's, bro,
Yeah, I'm fiending for them.
I'm shoulder
Doing
checking it.
nothing illegal.
I'm shoulder checking the machine and
Yep.
then probably dying. So
Well, it's not great. Remember we played whatever that game was, the Jack in the Box game? That was one of the answers, was like, what did somebody try to
oh yeah,
open up a vending machine with? And it was a forklift.
yeah, yep. This next one might throw you through a loop.
Okay.
Toothpicks or pens?
Ooh. I'm going to say toothpicks, because I feel like, especially living in the Midwest,
You're wrong.
fucking everybody. What? Everybody's got a
Everybody's
goddamn
got a
toothpick in
yeah,
their mouth.
But pens, man, people die. People die. 100 people die
Okay,
per
but
year
how?
from choking. Which
Like
I don't
the-
know why
do you
you're
think it's-
sucking on a fucking pen.
Oh, like playing like in your mouth. You never chew on a pen or like the pen cap. I did that more as a kid, and I just would never share like a pen that someone, like a chewed on pen with someone, but I feel like a pen cap popping off in your mouth maybe,
Yeah, something. I don't know.
which is wild, because I also feel like whatever, like in exciting movies and shows, and they're like, this person can't breathe, let's give them a tracheotomy with a fucking
pen. Bow.
and like live by
That
the
is
pen, die
fucking
by the
crazy.
pen.
The first
yeah.
time I saw that, I remember being like, oh, and learning about that is wild. How you have to open up somebody's airways.
Well, not you. I mean, like a doctor. I don't think they would
I
be
think
like,
there's-
Brandon, we're on a flight.
I think if you're in a situation, somebody knows about that, and they're just like, he can't. We got to just stab him.
That baby. Okay,
I'm
so
sure that's happened. I'm sure somebody that knows nothing about it just fucking.
probably. I have heard that's an issue actually with like EpiPens.
Yeah.
So for a while I thought I had an allergy and I had an EpiPen. That's not what it was. But people were like, oh, should we stab you in the heart with it? And it's like, no. Because what's that movie, Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
They put adrenaline in her heart
Yeah.
to wake her up.
Right.
Which, not this, I don't know if what's in an EpiPen. Epi material. But anyway, no, you like do it in somebody's thigh. But then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's so many dum-dums out here. And I probably would have been one of them that no. So,
I also would
Yeah.
have done it for
okay,
sure.
well,
100%.
you know
But now
someone,
you know.
yeah, don't stab someone in the heart with an EpiPen. They'll thigh.
They'll thigh.
Or they'll die.
They'll thigh.
They'll thigh.
I thought
all
you were
right.
getting. I thought you were trying to come up with a pun.
I wasn't. I just was being dumb. All right, so let's hop into this caper. That was a fun game, and also really the pen one. I thought toothpicks for sure. I feel like 1 in 5 men out here currently has a toothpick in their mouth.
Driving with a toothpick, you get a little fucking little fender bender.
But it's not going to obstruct your airway.
Right down your pipe. What? No, but it'll
down
stab
your pipe.
you.
Well, yeah. That part seems
They're
bad.
sharp, man. You swallow it, and then
you
it's in
can
your
breathe
fucking
around
lungs.
it. I mean,
I don't know.
In your lungs. I mean, I guess it could get to your
anything can get to your lungs if you breathe in deep enough.
Yeah, with that attitude, they can. All right. So for last week's episode, we were in our old timey machine, and we hopped back to the 1800s.
Right. Where are we going now?
Back in the DeLorean, friends. We're going to the 1950s. So the date is January 17th, 1950, and we are at the Brinks building in the north side of Boston. Now, this is like the same Brinks security firm that you see now, like with their armored trucks and carrying their bags and whatever.
Yep, there's just one Brinks.
There's just one Brinks.
Yeah.
One Adobe, one Brinks.
Yes.
Okay. So it's 7:30 p.m. and the location's closed, and there's just a handful of employees left, and they're finishing up their daily activities. So that's like putting all the bags that got delivered into the vault. That includes cash and checks and other securities. And so there's 5 employees that are doing this activity.
Okay.
So while they're closing up, 5 men sneak up on the Brinks employees, and they are wearing disguises. So they have on costumes, uniforms, kind of like what the Brinks employees wear, with a few extras. So according to FBI.gov, all of them wore Navy-type pea coats, gloves, and chauffeur's caps. Each robber's face was completely concealed behind a Halloween-type mask. To muffle their footsteps, one of the gang wore crepe-soled shoes, and the others wore rubbers. Okay, so I'm going to show you a picture of these Halloween masks. Because
I'm so glad you have pictures.
Yeah. Also, if you're listening to this podcast, you can check out our YouTube channel, Criminally Unqualified.
Oh, yeah. We'll have the pictures up for you guys to see over there.
So these were, the caption in this article said, Captain Marvel mask used as a disguise in the robbery. So let me just show.
Who did it? Captain Marvel.
This.
Oh my God.
Initial reactions.
Terrifying.
Okay, so these eyebrows, they are like,
I'm going to be honest, from this angle, you pulled it up and it looked a little like Michael Jackson.
I put that in my comments. Here's what this is like here are my notes. Okay, I said, so if you
Is that what they were going for? Who robbed the bank? Michael Jackson?
Well, this is 1950, so no.
Oh, well.
But okay, so we're talking, they have like super thick eyebrows. It looks like lipstick. I know it's in black and white, so I would like to see this in color, but I feel like it's not much better.
Fun fact, I can throw this on the computer and color restore it.
What?
Yeah.
Will you be using Adobe?
Adobe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So this was how I said. I said it is a cross between an 80s smoker mom, a drag queen still getting the hang of her makeup, because we are serving like cheekbones and contour, just like not great yet. We need more practice. And Michael Jackson, but not the early years. Yep.
Oh, that's great.
I feel like very accurate.
Very solid. The 90s smoker mom? Or no, what would you say?
80s smoker mom?
80s smoker mom. Really any smoker mom from like the 50s up into like a heavy smoker, just you walk in and a thick cloud hits you in the face.
Wafting. Yep.
Yeah.
Grab a Kool-Aid.
Probably lets the kids drink beers.
Only at home.
Yeah.
I don't know where she's from. She's from the East Coast. And all right. So back to the heist. So what is wild is how these men caught these employees off guard. So these employees, this is a big building in the north side of Boston, and it's 3 stories tall.
Boston.
And they are on the second story.
3 stories tall?
Yes. And the employees are on the second story, and the doors are all locked up. So it's not like these guys just like, oh, the door's open, let's check it out. Like, this is clearly planned. They also had to get to 3 to 4 locked doors that like all have separate locks on them.
Right.
To get to these employees that are in the vault. So it is wild that somehow these guys got here right when the employees had the vault open.
Inside job.
And it was closed. So that's one of the theories.
Yeah.
Okay. So the masked men, a few of them have guns, and they get all the employees together. They tell them to lie on the floor. They tie them up with rope, and they put tape on their mouths. And so then they get to cracking, getting all these bags and things piled up by the doors.
Yeah.
However, while they're doing this, they start hearing a buzzing and they can't figure out what it is. So they take the tape off of one of the people's mouths and they're like, oh, that's like an attendant in the garage that's connected.
Snitching.
Trying to come in. And the attendant has no idea what's going on. So then the robbers are thinking about like, we're going to have to capture this dude. But luckily
why is the coworker out here snitching on? I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. You got guns in your face?
I'm still going to be like, I don't know, man. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Well, that was not this guy. He was scared. Luckily, the attendant walked away, and so they proceeded. Right. There also were 4 revolvers that the robbers took from the Brinks building, which I'm like, it was unclear to me anything else, but like, are the bankers packing heat? Like, is that what we're doing in the 50s?
Maybe back then.
Or like we just have little extra guns lying about. Mm-hmm. I assume it's just like in the children's toy section playing with whatever. So anyway, it's the whole idea. This guy has no idea that like the crime of the century is happening. So he gets away. Okay. Yeah. So the getaway drivers are waiting in the garage, and it takes just 30 minutes for the 5 masked men to load up the getaway truck. And per the FBI website, quote, they'd stolen more than $1.2 million in cash and another $1.5 million in checks and other securities, making it the largest robbery in U.S. at the time. Okay. So I translated 1950s dollars to 2024 dollars. Right. Okay. So the $1.2 million in cash is worth $15.4 million today. Wow. Then $1.5 million in checks and other securities is worth $19.2 million today. So in total, they stole the equivalent of $34.6 million in today's money. Hi, Lola.
That is absolutely bonkers.
I know.
And
not barnacles, bonkers.
Okay. How many men were it? Was it?
Well, we're going to find out, but what all that they saw were the 5 men that were in the building.
That's a good split.
Well, just listen up because it gets crazy here. All right. So that history.com said 14 canvas bags with cash, coins, and checks and money orders for a total weight of more than half a ton. So I did the math on it, and we've got 14 bags splitting half a ton. That's 71 pounds a piece. Yeah. So I feel like cops were like, I don't know. That wasn't the noise I was trying. Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. Not.
Yeah, sorry.
Sounds like a queef.
I know. You don't know who's running the police scanner. But anyway, be on the lookout for 5 jack dudes wearing freaking creepy masks.
Redo it. Give me a Boston accent, though.
I can't do a Boston accent.
Go on, give it your best try. Gary Busey.
Harvard Yard, get on it. There's 4 men, 5. That's more Jersey. I'm going to have to work on my Boston accent. Okay. Please. Sorry, everyone. All right. So police quickly arrive on the scene, but they have no leads and they really have no evidence. All that's left is the testimony of these 5 people who got tied up. There's 1 chauffeur's cap that got left behind, and like the rope and the tape that had been used to incapacitate. That's it. They have nothing else. And so they get to work. They also found out that the robbers had taken those 4 guns. So they did document the serial numbers in case they ever
popped up anywhere.
Happened upon guns. Yeah. Again, to tie it back. All right. So Stephanie Shiro wrote a book called The Crime of the Century, How the Brinks Robbers Stole Millions and the Hearts of Boston. And she was interviewed for an article by GBH that I found on their website. And she said, quote, "The crime was considered the perfect crime. It wasn't like the robbers knocked off the local church or the local orphanage. They picked up a big company who could afford it, and in the minds of many, to lose this money, so people took perverse pride in it." Mm. And most importantly, she says, no one had even been killed or hurt. The scant evidence left, 1 cap and 1 length of rope, provided no help to the cops. The crime made headlines across the country. So I love that people were like,
we kind of fuck with them.
Afford it. Yeah. Stick it to the man.
Yeah.
And so I'm not like condoning this, but it did make me think of season 1 of Peaky Blinders.
Everybody loves a bank robber story, right?
Yeah, no one got hurt.
Because as long as nobody's getting hurt and you're just ripping off, it's kind of badass.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I think everybody thought that too. They're like, you like really did amazing. And so, but I don't know if you remember season 1 in Peaky Blinders when they're going to have like the street fight and the bartender's talking to Tommy Shelby and he's like, everybody around here, we want you to win this battle. You're bad men, but you're our bad men.
Yeah, that's
and
how
I'm
they
like,
felt,
I get
right?
goosebumps. I'm like, you're our bad men.
That's right.
All right, Lola, I love you, but you have to sit in your chair. The FBI is quickly brought in, and investigators are thinking, like, exactly what you said. Like, is this an inside job? Because how did they know the timing?
Shit was executed perfectly.
It was. Exactly. How'd they get through all the fucking locked doors? Like, did someone let them in?
Also, it seemed like they knew about the guns, right?
Yeah, that is an interesting point, too, that I did not think about. You always think of stuff that I didn't get, and I love that.
Thanks.
Okay, so FBI, immediately, they start thinking, like, well, we got to talk to everybody in the Brinks building. But also we need to, so like they start talking to if they worked on the floor, if they worked in the offices, if they were drivers, parking attendants,
right.
You know, trying to get to the bottom of that. But there's also a ton of people that live near the Brinks building. So they have around it what's called tenement housing. Do you know what that is?
No.
I kind of thought I knew, but you know, I got to look it up because I want to make sure.
That's right.
Okay. So
give me the rundown.
And I looked on Investopedia.com and it said, quote, a tenement can refer to any multi-occupancy residential rental building. However, the term is associated most often with crowded, rundown buildings with low quality living conditions. Tenement buildings date back to the growth of the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century. Because of the sudden influx of people moving into the cities.
So they're just stuffing people in buildings.
Right. Yeah. So you think about like, that takes a long time to try to find everybody who lives in those buildings to see if somebody saw something. You've got people working distracted, in and out all the time. Mm-hmm. Like that's a big job also. And they don't really just have a lot of leads. So investigators also start looking at like the usual suspects. So we're looking at the criminal underbelly to see like is some type of gang, you know, local gang activity crew did this. They're coming up with nothing. So then they're like, all right, well, let's look at like all the money that got stolen. Those were deliveries, some were checks written to people. And let's talk to everybody, like all the companies or people who submitted stuff and say like, what did the packaging look like? What were numbers documented? Who was stuff written to?
Right.
So that way, if something pops up, they can find it. And I think they were telling like other financial institutions, like look for this shit.
Yep.
Okay. So we are covering people in the building, people near the building, looking for the money, looking for the guns. What's left? How about people spending money? Okay, so you're flush with cash. Maybe you want to go make some purchases.
I got all this money I'm fucking sitting on. Yep. Let me just pop a few bills out.
So they're looking for like people making unusual large purchases, checking out casinos. Again, like nothing really comes of that.
Yeah.
Okay, but about a getaway car because these people loaded up some type of vehicle and drove away. And while they were doing interviews, investigators got a hot tip. And so, again, this was from that FBI article. And it said, through the interviews of persons in the vicinity of the Brinks offices on the evening of January 17th, 1950, the FBI learned that a 1949 green Ford stake body truck with a canvas top had been parked near the Prince Street door of Brinks at approximately the same time of the robbery. From the size of the loot and the number of the men involved, it was logical that the gang might have used a truck, and this lead was pursued intensively. So a little bit of a lead to look for a truck. Like, look for a green truck.
We think they're using a truck, but could have been a van.
Did they have vans in the 1950s?
Yeah, that might be actually accurate. They might not.
I don't know anything about cars, so maybe.
Some sort of big vehicle. I'm
sure
they could even clown it into a car, you know what I mean?
I liked clown it into a car.
Thank you.
All right. So then investigators also ask for tips, which that's like a mixed bag because you get a lot of people who like want to be helpful, but then you also get just
anyone like, reporting anything weird.
And you have a lot to track stuff down, and they
this
look
guy
at
looked
stuff.
At me funny on that day.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. So who knows
what they're getting. Yeah.
But then not everyone is helping out of the goodness of their heart either. Brinks put out a reward for information that led to arrest and convictions. And that reward was to the tune of $100,000, which in today's money, about $1.28 million.
That's a solid reward.
Like, bitch, I might have seen something.
Yeah.
So interesting. All right. So we're going to timeline out this next part a little bit. We're going to finish kind of talking about the investigator side, and then we're going to dive into what happened for real. Okay. So, all right, a reminder. The crime took place on January 17th, 1950. On February 4th, so 18 days after the robbery, a group of boys are playing in an area called Mystic River in Somerville, Massachusetts, and they find a rusted revolver.
Oh, okay.
So thanks, robbers, for just fucking discarding it where children play, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that
you couldn't find a better way to get rid of it. Somebody's going to find it.
Right.
I hope they scratched off the serial. They probably didn't.
Sure didn't because it got linked back to the robbery. So gun number 1 found.
Yeah.
But no other info. Then the next day, February 5th, 1950, a police officer, also of Somerville, Massachusetts, finds a second revolver that also ends up being tied back to the robbery.
Where'd you find it?
I don't know. It didn't say. But he found
Seems
it.
like they're just dumping it wherever.
Revolver. I think they said it just like that.
That's great.
Thank
revolver.
Oh, shake my little cigar. All right. So then, March 4th. So fast forward a month. After they found the 2 revolvers, investigators find pieces of the getaway truck in Stoughton, Massachusetts. Something interesting to note.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Just wait to hear what happened to the truck. Okay, so those first guns are like north of Boston.
Yeah.
I kept looking at the map. This is south of Boston. Just interesting also.
Chopped it up, I'm assuming.
They did. Okay. It looks like the robbers split it up into pieces, and then they burned it, and then they put the pieces in like canvas bags.
What the fuck?
I know. Okay.
They went through all that to get rid of the fucking car, but you did willy-nilly the fucking
revolver.
You need a revolver. Here's a revolver for you, son. Revolver.
Well, you kids need a revolver? I bet you do. Yeah, but the fucking car is in bags. Now, the ground was frozen because this is Massachusetts, and it's the very beginning of March still.
It's cold outside.
And so investigators speculate that they probably would have tried to bury the pieces of the car. I don't know, like, were there shovels, like, why they thought that?
The canvas bags, maybe.
Was that not enough to hide them? And why not spread out the bags? Bag, revolver, bag, revolver.
Revolver.
I don't understand.
I don't get it. It seems like they're spending their time doing their energy and time on what they think maybe they're looking what the people are looking for and what can tie them to the case versus they're like, oh, these revolvers can't tie us to shit. When in reality, yet 100% it can.
Well, we're not doing like fingerprinting or anything.
No, but there's a
then.
trail, right? You're leaving a map of where you're going.
Are you? Because the guns are up north, the car is in pieces down south.
Oh.
That we somehow just like we dumped a puzzle out, but all together, and you're like, well, this is still obviously a puzzle. Like, this is still a car, but good job. Interesting.
A lot of effort for nothing, I feel like.
Well, I mean,
you got rid of fingerprints and whatever other stuff is in the car, but they still found the car.
They sure did, but they didn't really do much with it. There was nothing
well, you can't do much with
to be done. Yep. Okay. All right. So we've talked about the crime, the investigation. Now let's get into what actually happened.
Bum.
Yes. Okay. So first, we're going to start with the who. The crew consisted of actually 11 people.
Still a solid split.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you who all was involved. You don't need to memorize these people. I'm gonna keep us going. Like, it's too many. No one needs to fucking remember.
Yeah.
Okay. So first up, the criminal mastermind of the whole thing. Oh, also, most of these people have super cool nicknames or mediocre nicknames, but like, I get excited about this. Okay, so first up, the criminal mastermind of the whole thing, Tony Fats Pino.
Tony Fats Pino. Hey, Fats!
First of all, I'm like, don't ever call... That would make me cry. Like, what a mean nickname.
What's up, Fats?
What's up, Chunky? I'm like, I wouldn't be a good bad guy that way.
So these dudes seem like they're Italian, sort of, maybe. Fats is like, I think of like mob... relate. Hey, Fats.
Well, these guys are all involved in the criminal underbelly. We'll get to. Okay.
My point is just like certain gangs have stupid fucking names, right? Like
sure. Also, I feel
Lil Spooky.
I think that's adorable. I would love that to be mine. Where's Lil Spooky?
It just doesn't sound intimidating. I mean, Fats doesn't either, but just Fats is.
I'm like,
what's up, Fats? It's simple.
I got some revolvers I want you to toss around like confetti.
Maybe they're all dumb. Fats is actually, the more I ponder on it and I'm comparing it to Lil Spooky.
Where did you come up with Little Spooky?
I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. Maybe there's not.
It's like the cutest.
Maybe we start a gang.
I was going to ask you, what would your nickname be?
I've always seen those things where it's like, it's the color of your t-shirt and the last thing you ate. So mine would be Black Taco Bell. or Black Burrito.
I don't think you're allowed to have black in your nickname.
My shirt's black, man. I don't know.
Okay. Try to get uncanceled. Be like, well, my shirt was.
Yeah.
Okay. What would mine be? Well, remember when we first started dating and we were joking that because I giggle all the time, that my gang name would be Lil Gigs. So
Lil Gigs.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Lil Spooky's cute too, but Lil Gigs is.
Yeah.
Mine.
I would say Fats for me, but it's taken.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you?
I don't
No.
know.
All right. Well, next up is Vincent Costa, and I'm going to call him the Lookout. I gave them like what their roles were, so we've got.
So that's not his nickname, though.
No, that's
because you said they had cool nicknames.
No, not everybody has a nickname. Vincent Costa doesn't, but I'm calling him the Lookout because spoiler alert, he was the Lookout. We'll get to that. Okay. Third up are the robbers. So there are actually 7 people that enter the building that night. Some of them also have nicknames. First is Joseph Specs O'Keefe. So he's Specs. I'm assuming he wore glasses.
Yeah. Hey, Fats and Specs.
Yeah.
They're quite literal on what they.
You really aggressively.
Freckles.
That's good.
He's got freckles. Freckles.
Little ducky.
Yeah. Mole, because he's got moles on his neck.
Hey, what's that? Austin Powers like guacamole.
Wait, what?
He like sees somebody who has a mole on his face, and then
mole.
Oh, maybe that was it. Maybe he
it.
didn't say guacamole.
Guacamole, maybe. Fucking.
Okay, so then we have Stanley Gusciora, which I think his nickname should be Goose, but he didn't have one.
That would be fucking gangster.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Henry Baker, and for him, I gave him a nickname, and it's Patty Cake.
Why?
Because he's a baker, he's not a baker. His
last name is Baker.
Yeah, and I just thought it was cute.
Okay.
I don't think any of these guys are going for cute nicknames, but anyway.
They got him now.
All right, then we have Adolf.
You heard it here.
Adolf Jazz Maffey, which I get you can't be rolling around with a first name Adolf.
Yeah.
Like someone let his family know that we are not doing that.
That shit's been canceled, even in the 50s,
Even in the 50s, but whatever. Okay, then we have Michael Geegan, James Faherty, and Thomas Sandy Richardson.
Sandy, do you think he got sand in his crotch?
Okay, but why didn't he go by Sandy Dick?
That's great.
Right?
Also.
Sandy Richardson, missed opportunity.
That's okay, though.
All right, so the next person, again, I'm calling him this. No one else called the cleaner. So this is Joseph Big Joe McGinnis, and he is in charge of cleanup, and he's actually like one of the co-planners.
His nickname is Big Joe?
Big Joe.
Because Fats was fucking taken.
He's like, I'm fat too. And they're like, no, but you're Big Joe.
You're Big Joe.
Good
Fats
job.
is already taken.
You guys are both great.
Fats times 2. What would you call another fat person? Fats, big boy, big Joe. Really, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I was
let's not forget our well-esteemed Fat Joe of current times.
Oh, yeah.
Got to do with it. Okay.
What's love? Is that Fat Joe? That's Ja Rule.
No.
That's fucking Ja Rule.
See, come a little closer and put you under my arm like a Don is supposed to.
Almost as bad as your Carrie Busey impersonation.
But that's Fat Joe who does that part.
Ja
Rule doesn't do that part.
Is Ja Rule in the song, though? I thought it was only a Ja Rule song, but I don't listen to Ja Rule, so.
So sit down, pipe down. I promise you, I just did Fat Joe's part.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, back to
Fat Joe in the fucking building.
Basically, I did a perfect impression. Okay. Last up, we have Joseph Banfield, who I think was one of the getaway drivers. It was a little bit hard to see some people's pieces in this, but there's our lineup. All right. So how did we get to this point? I'm going to be honest. As we gather people, this feels a little Ocean's 11-y to me. Like we're just pulling people in. Mm-hmm. Okay. So remember Tony Fats. Pino. Fats. Yes. Okay. So the robbery happens in 1950. 3 years before that, he starts getting in his mind, Brinks might be a good place to steal from. So
Fats does?
Fats does.
You already stole from it. What do you mean it would be a good place?
This is 3 years before the robbery.
Oh, before. Okay. See? I glazed over that.
You sure did. And I was like, I will put the dates in here to keep you on track. And you said
3 years
fucking catch
prior
me if you can.
to the actual robbery.
Yes. He gets this
so
idea.
they've been planning this shit for a fucking cool minute. It came to Fats. Fat's been sitting on it.
Yep.
That's a hefty load.
Yes. Okay, so he's like no rookie when it comes to criminal activities.
Yep.
He's known as a case man, so he cases the joint,
right.
before. Okay, so this WGBH article that I read said It was quoting that woman, Stephanie Shoro, who wrote that book. And it said, it was the money that caught small-time crook and master lockpick Tony Pino's eye. For more than a year, he meticulously studied the layout of the building, the timing of the truck deliveries, and the behavior of the employees. The ideas of the Brinks was that the guys would go in at a precise moment when all the money had been brought into the office, but before it was locked in the safe.
That is fucking dedication.
Yes. He's playing a real long game. But... Good God, man.
I've been holding that fucker in, and I was like, it needs to come out. And it did.
Exercise
I tried to do
that burp demon.
Did that shit away.
You did, but...
Call me little burps.
Little gassies? Nope.
No. That's you blowing beef.
Shut up. Okay. So then Fats knew like he's not going to be able to do this by himself. And so he approaches Big Joe McGinnis. And Big Joe is like a well-known
fellow
criminal.
Fatty.
Yep. And Big Joe is well-known in the
it.
criminal underworld in Boston.
Yep.
But he's like kind of high up in the food chain, it sounds like,
okay.
of people. So Big Joe says, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And they decide, like, let's keep planning this out and get our crew together. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to call Big Joe, say he's the co-leader here. The WGBH article calls the other 9 members, quote, a team of neighborhood pickpockets, hoods, and money launderers. So I'm just picturing like this ragtag team of criminals, like Mighty Ducks, like...
Mm-hmm.
Like
just fucking
individual, they're
recruiting.
okay, but like we got to work to like, you know, quack, 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 quack.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like
anyway,
alone, we do all right, but together,
5 fingers make a fist. What's that from?
I don't fucking know, but I like it. 5 fingers make a fist.
It's like
Obviously,
5 fingers, and a pinky toe make a robbery.
I thought you were gonna say 5 fingers and a fist to your face.
Oh,
for some reason, I don't know. I was picturing punches.
You were thinking Lil Gigs was talking to you, but
that's right.
Rest assured, it's just me.
So that's wild. They're not even part of the same crew, which is crazy because you think of like a gang and you think of like a tight-knit group of dudes that don't mess with another gang, right? But these dudes are just one dude from this gang. Maybe they're not even gang. Maybe they're just all like...
They're criminals. They're all criminals.
But low, like bottom of the food chain kind of criminals by themselves.
Yep. So
they band together.
Yes.
And create the fucking Power Rangers of robbery.
That's right. Okay. So initially I read they just wanted to burgle the place. Burgle?
What's that?
Like a burglary. So I know it sounds funny, but so a burglary is like when you break in and steal something, but
I know.
Yeah, okay. But a robbery is when you are like actively taking it from someone, like you're assaulting or like
guns in the face type shit.
Yeah, that makes it armed robbery, but
so yes. What's a burgle?
No people are involved. It's like you break in and steal something.
Just a burgle.
A burgle. Classic burgle.
I've never heard that. Burgle. No people. We just went in for a clean burgle.
Clean burgle.
You would still, people still to this day call it a burglary.
Well, yeah, it is a burglary.
But because there's no people.
But you wouldn't say, I burglaried. You'd say I burgled the place?
I fucking burgled the place. No wonder we call it hitting a lick. Much better.
Hitting the lick?
Hitting a lick. I hit a lick. I robbed the joint. I hit the lick. Yeah. Or
what?
I robbed the joint. Yeah.
I've never heard someone say I hit the lick.
Not I hit the lick. I hit a lick.
I hit a lick.
Yeah.
What? Where did you learn that, California?
Rhymes, dude.
Like rhymes comma busta?
What?
Like Busta Rhymes?
Rhymes comma busta. I don't think Busta Rhymes said it, but I don't know. I heard it and I swear I Urban Dictionary'd it. I'm going to fucking do hold on. Just so we're clear.
It just sounds like something somebody put in their Tinder profile. Like, hey, come over, hit a lick.
Hit a lick. It sounds sexual.
Right. That's what I meant.
Urban Dictionary.
Go on.
Hit a lick. Okay. I just hit a lick on some. Is that Chichos?
Chicos?
Chichos. Chicos. To hit a lick. To hit a lick means that you are going to or already have gained money or something worth of money value, most likely illegally or stealing. So, yeah.
I can't get past Chichos.
What was it? Chicos?
Chicos. You're like, I know Spanish. You've told me that before, and you just said Chichos.
Chichos. I was like, is that Chichos? Oh, man. Anyway, so yes, hit a lick, bro. It's much better than I fucking burgled the place.
It would sound better.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
It's questionable. It sounds sexual.
Cheetos.
Oh,
All right. Okay.
Good.
So this crime took a lot of planning. And so for basically 2 years, Pino's casing the place. He's watching the deliveries, just like what that thing said. Like he's watching everything, making note of everything. And so how is he seeing this also? I think he must be able to see through the window. And we're going to come back to this, but I'm like, how can he even tell what all the employees are doing?
I'm sure he's going in.
Well, yeah, but you're not going into like the sequestered, secluded, whatever, the blocked off areas.
Yeah.
Okay. So
he's casing the joint. He's doing whatever
he's doing to case. All right. So they knew there's an alarm system. So these guys, or at least some of them, they break into the alarm company's office. They steal the alarm company plans, note down what they see, and they fucking put them back, and nobody even knows they took them.
Oh, classic bait and switch type shit. I don't know if it was a bait and switch. I don't know if they put like
a bait and put
bag of Cheetos there in place of the map.
Classic 1950s Cheetos.
Yeah, or not map, but plans.
And like that's wild though, right?
That is crazy. Went through a lot. They're like, okay.
Yes. So playing the long game. Also, I don't know where this falls into the story, but I did read one place that they actually were the building moved. So while they're in the midst of all this planning,
the whole shit gets switched up. They're like, fuck all our work, bro.
Redo.
Well, so that's why it probably took even longer. They're like, well, now we got to fucking start from scratch again.
Yes. What
changed?
So I don't know when that happened.
That makes it even more gangster. The fact that the building changed and they're like, we're still
doing it. They put too much time in.
Yep.
Okay, so then they learn about the locked doors. And so...
No more locked doors, they say.
What?
That's from Friday.
Oh. I thought you were still on Chichos. Okay, so then they learn like there are multiple doors they have to get through. Each one has a different lock, so they can even get to the vault.
Is it like key cards? No.
It's 1950.
So no key
cards. So no. You seemed like you were unclear still. No key cards.
I feel like it doesn't take that much technology for a key card. I feel like the 1950s could have that.
With all the computers they had lying about.
God damn it, I'm dumb.
Okay. Let's just move past that. All right. So this is what they do. And this is in consecutive nights. They break in. They go to the first door that's locked. They take the lock off. That night, have someone make a key to fit in that lock.
Return the lock.
Put the lock back in place. The next night, now they open the first door. They go and they steal the second lock.
How are they stealing it?
I don't know. But
they're breaking into the place, into the bank at night.
Yes.
Stealing a lock. That is fucking bonkers.
I know.
You are stealing a lock off of a bank, but I'm leaving.
Right. Getting a copy of a key made.
Putting it back.
And then the next night, do it again.
To steal a lock is crazy, too. If a door is locked, how do you get it off from the other side? Like,
I don't know, but like Fats was a lockpick and he wasn't the only one. They knew how to do this. But I'm assuming they needed the keys because they didn't have time to do this shit slow that night.
Right, so that's fucking gangster.
I know. I knew you were going to love this part. Like, that's wild. So they do this multiple nights in a row till they've got keys for all the doors.
Talk about sweating fucking bullets, too, because you're in there, you're breaking into a fucking bank, and you're not even stealing the money. You're just stealing the fucking lock and hoping nobody sees you and shit. You got to be all inconspicuous.
Yes.
That is fucking wild.
Is that how you creep around with this move?
This is it.
Oh my gosh, Emmett used to do that when he was like a little toddler and he wanted to be sneaky. Instead of like hiding, he would go on his tiptoes and walk like this.
Yeah, that's the classic. Like the Grinch. See, even children know it. That's the fucking. So I picture them still on the locks on their tiptoes.
Deep, deep, deep. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So now they've got all the locks. They know the alarm system. They know the ins and outs. They know everything. And so now. Then they practice. Okay, that's the next thing, is they practice over and over again what they're going to do. And they actually tried this, the actual break-in.
It's like a theater class.
Yes. Places, everyone.
Fats, you're up.
Stage right, or whatever.
Better than you're up. Stage right.
So they practice, and they actually like abort the mission multiple times because they're like, something wasn't right that night.
They are fucking dope. They're like, nah, my intuition says it ain't right.
Yep. And so they wait. So it's January 17th. This is the night. And so this is what happens.
Everybody's feeling good about it.
Everybody's good. So we've got our lookout. He's a man named Vincent Costa, and he is posted up in the building across the street, and he is watching. So we've got our guys on the ground, and they have their costumes on. They're waiting with their masks ready to pull down. Mm-hmm. And when he sees that the employees are opening the vault, he flashes his flashlight. And Signals. They see it like his fucking little bat signal, and they're like, fucking go time. And they pull the masks down. They go into the building.
Storm the fucking...
Well, they're quiet, but yes. Quietly storm. They go all through all these locked doors.
I just picture like...
the shit. Yep.
That's their noise they make.
I like that.
A little tip-tap.
And so then they surprise the employees. They go through it 30 minutes, and they are...
Surprise, motherfucker!
Yep. I bet that's what they said.
Small fries, motherfucker! Large size, motherfucker.
They're so weird. Okay, so...
small lies, motherfucker.
Let's see.
You don't know that meme, do you?
I don't. Okay, wait, hold on. I got another thing. Okay, so that really, it was 10 people that were there that night. There was one person. Our number 11 was Big Joe. And so a Yahoo article I read said the only one who stayed away that night was the co-ringleader, McGinnis, who spent his evening dining out in the presence of a Boston police detective as part of the crew's alibi. So... I don't know if he was having dinner with him or he was having dinner in the same location, making sure he was seen.
I feel like that's such a bitch ass thing for him to do. Like, oh, we need an alibi, so I'm going to sit by a police. What? I hope his cut was fucking the most minimal of everybody. You put in no work. You maybe put in work before then, but when push came to shove and it was time to get your hands dirty, you're going to sit and make sure the police officer sees you. You're not even part of the same crew. You guys are handpicked from different places. So, like, it's not like...
Well, he was, like, the whatever, like...
That's an alibi for him only.
That's what I thought. I'm like, well, how the fuck does that help the rest of the 10 dudes? Like, they're not there with you.
I was there with him, and the officer saw me, but the other guys were all in the bathroom. All 11 of them.
He's just sitting at this huge table, and every time the officer looks away, he, like, takes a little bite, or he drinks a little drink, and then he runs and sits back down, and he's like, I fucking got this covered. He's like, oh, bring me something from the bar. And the
runs to the bathroom, changes outfits, and sits down in another...
The mustache on another seat, and they're like, oh, we keep missing each other. God nabbit.
He's like, dang it, I just missed Fats.
Fats again. Ah. Yeah. I don't know how he did it, but I also thought that seemed weird.
Yes.
Okay. So once the robbery's complete, they all drive off, and then Big Joe, finishes up his nice meal for 11 people, apparently, meets up with them. And they all give, like, all of their disguises to him. He's in charge of getting rid of the disguises and getting rid of the car.
Now he's getting his hands a little dirty. The heat is not hot.
Actually, he probably could have buried the car pieces, but he's like, I am fucking stuffed.
He's like, I'm ready to crash. I need to go home.
I got the fucking meat sweats. I had to drink so many bottles of wine to make it look like...
Was it Big Joe who was sitting there?
Yeah.
Big Joe, you know that boy grubbed. He said, I'm going to enjoy this.
Yep. I just picture him with like a pinky ring. I hope he had a pinky ring.
One that's a little too small for his pinky, though, and it's bulging, but it's fucking... And it's a big silver or gold fucking ring.
He has a gold.
Thin gold chain getting caught in his neck.
Ew. All right. Well, maybe it's longer. I don't know. All right. So the guys all split up the money and they go their separate ways. And they agree not to spend the money for 2 years to keep the heat off of them.
Smart.
Something else I didn't mention. The statute of limitations immediately starts running when they do this robbery. And they have 6 years where they need to not get caught.
6 years, that's it. And then they can start spending the money and
they can do whatever the fuck they want. They cannot be prosecuted for this crime.
Can they take the money from them after 6 years?
I don't think so.
So
I don't know.
They can just come out after 6 years and be like, we robbed it.
I think so.
Make it rain.
I mean, that's probably not smart. I don't know if they have other things they can get you on, but like, yeah, they have 6 years. So keep your heads down. They say they're not going to spend money for 2 years, not 6.
I guarantee you some of them fucking slipped up and spent some money.
Well, it's 11 people. Someone's going to fuck up. And I put, however, criminal's going to criminal.
Yeah.
So even though they agreed not to spend the money for 2 years and they know they need to lay low for 6 years, it's hard to keep 11 criminals
in check,
out of trouble, right?
Yep.
And so odds are someone's going to fuck up. And that happens. So the robbery, again, takes place on January 17th, 1950. And 5 months later, we're in June. And 2 guys are already in fucking trouble with the law. It was Specs!
I fucking knew it! Let's go, dude.
Fucking blew my ears out.
Sorry.
What? How did you know?
I just was picturing Specs. As you were telling me the people, I like painted a picture in my mind of
and you just painted a little bitch vibe.
I just painted a little bitch vibe, like he like not gonna listen or like gonna get hard. Like times are hard. I need need a couple $100. Buy me some new glasses. I don't know what he's buying the money. I don't know what he's doing.
Sure.
I picture him fucking up. It was him, and I pictured fucking one of the fat dudes fucking up.
It's not one of them. They are better criminals, in my opinion.
I don't know. The dude, the alibi thing.
Yep.
I thought he was maybe a dumb
Big Joe.
or a scared. Like, I thought maybe he gets caught doing a different crime and then tries to be like, I can tell you who robbed.
Well, let me just tell you what happened, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, Joseph Specs O'Keefe and Stanley Goose-Kiora,
Goose.
Or Goose-Kiora, who's Goose, but not, Goose.
Yeah.
They get in trouble, for busted for robbery in Pennsylvania. That's what I put. It's been 5 months, and these dum-dums both get busted for robbery in Pennsylvania. Dum-dums.
You're sitting on all that money, and you still got to...
But you can't fucking spend any of it. You got to pay bills. But like, you fucking can't work at the supermarket or something for a hot minute to then be set for life.
Hell no. They're like, bro, I only do crimes.
Strictly crime. Like, have you seen my resume? I only know lockpicking.
That's it.
Stupid. Okay, so they both get jail time for this. That's fine. But lawyers aren't cheap, and it's not the only trouble that Speck gets into. And so he's starting to rack up bills from his defense lawyers because he keeps getting caught for shit and getting thrown in jail. So at some point, one of the times he goes to jail, he realizes he needs someone to like watch his stash. Like he can't. So he gives it to some of the guys in the group. And then when he comes back out.
That's not smart.
He said, bruh, this is $2,000 short, which is $26,000 in today
Specs
money.
said that? Like,
Specs.
well, my money is short. Well, what do you expect? You're giving it to criminals, bro.
Well.
And I get you were a crew for a cool minute, but that's it.
Yeah.
That was it.
You guys didn't get best friend necklaces.
Hell nah. You might think that, but they're criminals, bro. They're going to rob you if they can.
Yeah. So he's pissed about this. And I don't know if he actually was short on money or he just thinks he's short on money. That part was never clear to me. But either way, he's pissed off. So then he gets in trouble again. And I put it ends up back in the clink and he has to leave his money with his homies again. This time when he gets out, it's even worse because he gets out and the guys say, I'm super sorry about this, but it's gone. You had we kept sending you money for your lawyers and then we had it hidden, but somebody found the hiding spot and they took the rest. So I'm so sorry, but your money's gone. And he is fucking
How much was the split
pissed.
too? I mean, you probably didn't do the math, but it was
of course it's the one math I didn't do, but
it's got to be a lot of fucking money. So I'm just I would be upset.
So,
but also he's a dum-dum for you keep getting caught, bro. 2 years. It can't be that hard.
Yes. Well, it's hard for him apparently.
I fucking knew it.
Yep. All right. So now he is fuming at this point and he is saying that he has nothing to show for it basically.
He's probably you guys better come together and give me a little bit of money.
Yep. And so I said he decides he still deserves something from that robbery. Like he put in all that work and now he has nothing to show for it.
It's your fault, fucking Speck.
Yep. So he starts to meet with different members of the crew, kind of trying to shake him down. Yeah. And I guess I don't know if he was a big dude or just kind of scary or what, but he's trying to intimidate them to give him money, being like, you guys need to help make up for what got stolen because you were supposed to watch my shit. And everybody's like, sucks to suck, but that was
fuck you, dude.
That's your fault. You got in jail. Whatever. This is your problem.
You're the one that keeps getting caught, dude, not us.
Yep.
It's not my job to babysit your fucking child, aka your money.
Your money baby. Yeah. So now we're in May 1954. So it's about 4.5 years. 4.5 years. Yep. After the robbery. Great job. I saw you. I got this one. And so we're about a year and a half out of the statute of limitations still.
Yeah. But it's been past 2 years. So they're spending their money.
Yeah, they are. They can spend their money now. Specs apparently has been spending it anyway on his lawyers and now he's really fucked if he gets caught for something.
Also, if I'm watching your fucking money, dude, I am charging you. I am taking fucking a little 5 or 10% off the top.
Interest.
As me having to fucking watch your shit.
Yeah.
You fucked up. You're paying me for this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Boom.
I don't think Specs would have liked it, but I think that makes sense.
That's what I would have told him.
All right. So Specs is pissed now because he's like, I got to do something more than these shakedowns. Stronger action is needed because no one's fucking doing, anything
Yep.
to give me money. So he decides that Fats should be helping him out as the leader of this gang. And
You're our dad.
Dad, I need some money. And so to encourage Fats to help him, he kidnaps Vincent Costa. You'll recall Vincent was the lookout for the group who flashed the flashlight.
Just steals him.
Yeah. And he's like, I'll take him. Well, here's the deal. Vincent is also Fats's cousin or his brother-in-law, both unclear. Somehow he is related to Fats, though. Meanwhile, to me, as the lookout, he's like the kicker on the football team, where it's like he's not on all the time, but when it's his fucking time to shine,
he handles it.
It's really riding on him, right? With the flashlight, just not important, but anyway. Okay, so Fats pays the ransom to Specs, and Specs lets Vincent go. I can't imagine that Vincent's real happy about it.
You let that slide. Now he thinks he can get away with anything. I bet he does more shit.
Well,
because he already feels like he can get away with that. He's like, oh, they're going to fucking pay me.
Yeah.
So what happens?
Steal somebody else now.
Yeah.
Well, Fats doesn't love this. Did not appreciate being manipulated like that. And also, apparently, at some point when Specs was in prison, one of the many times, he's like I think he was like writing letters to these dudes and shit too, kind of hinting like he might be feeling chatty with investigators if they can't come up with money. Yeah. And I feel like in the list of things like that's a no-no for a criminal, like
running your mouth and snitching,
acting like you're gonna snitch, like that seems, he makes a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah, that seems like somebody needs to stick a knife in his neck.
Wow, that's where you went so fast. God damn.
I'm just putting myself in these dudes' shoes. Like, we did a big, we came together and we pulled off something insane. Like, we
were the mighty ducks of robbers.
We are in there stealing locks and replacing them and doing the same thing with fucking alarm layouts. And then we're actually getting down to business and doing the fucking thing.
It's so interesting you picked the steps to really add the emphasis on. I kept being like, oh no, we stole $32 million. You're like, we stole the locks and we put them back.
$30 million is great. The only reason they were able to do that is all the hard work before that.
Yes, agreed.
You know what I mean? That's the highlight. So,
yep.
But you do all that and then you're going to sit here and fucking run your mouth to the police about me?
The police?
The police?
Yep.
We hit a lick together, dude.
We did. Okay, so Fats and the group talk, and they're like, this is a problem.
We need to shut him up.
We need to shut him up, and they send someone out to kill him. Unclear to me who is doing it at this time.
The hitman.
Well, we'll get to that. Okay. 3 attempts are made on Specs' life, and he fucking gets out of every single one.
Fucking weasel is what I picture.
Yes! Oh, that's the same thing.
Goddamn snake.
One of the times he was in his car, and another car rolled up, and I don't know if he just got a feeling or saw a flash of gun, but he ducked down, and it is wild. So he gets out of it 3 times, and they're like, listen, what we're doing is not working.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the same guy just sucks that's trying to kill him, or it's different people. Maybe he's just that good. So they hire a hitman, Elmer Trigger Berkman.
Trigger Berkman.
Trigger Berkman. I feel like with a name like Trigger, you're like, that he's going to get the job done.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Sounds like it. With a name like Trigger, you don't miss.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Sounded like an ad. Like, buy milk with vitamin D, kids. I don't. Okay. Yeah. So, Trigger attempts to shoot Specs, and Specs fucking gets away.
He is fucking dodging bullets. He's like the Mask. Yep. He's fucking pulling up his crotch, fucking rolling back like the Matrix, lifting his fucking head off his body. He's just doing everything to dodge these bullets, man.
Yes. Okay. And so, Trigger does eventually get caught because investigators find him with a machine gun, and they tie it back to like some other crime, and he says that people hired him to kill Specs, but he doesn't say like who or anything. Yeah. So that part doesn't really go anywhere, but Specs gets away. Then I also made a note, like, do you think Trigger and the other guys who tried to get Specs like have a little group and they're like, you're still a great bad guy, like we all miss sometimes.
No,
tomorrow will be better. We got this.
No, that's your gang.
Yeah. Fats really isn't mad at you. He's disappointed, but like it's okay.
That's almost worse. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
Always hits different.
Tomorrow will be better, buddy. Little chin knock.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Nothing that was a
father-son moment.
All right. So Specs does get hurt really badly by Trigger, even though he got away, and he ends up in the hospital. All right. So now it's January 6th, 1956, and we are 11 days before the statute of limitations runs out.
They were right there.
You fucking sweating. I'm sweating. Okay. And Specs is recovering in the hospital, and who rolls up?
The police.
The motherfucking FBI.
Oh, man.
Now, they've tried to get at him many times.
11 days. Talk about poor luck.
Well, Specs has not told them anything. They've tried to get to him lots of times. He's been in and out of jail. There's been suspicions, but no one's been able to really still pin anything down. Yeah. And Specs is having big feelings. He's feeling hurt. The
FBI's got to be sweating 11. We have 11 days to get these
that's
suits.
True. But Specs is feeling hurt and sad and mad, and we've got lots of big feelings. And he says, you know what? I'm feeling kind of chatty. And chatty he was. For 3 fucking days. He's real chatty to the FBI. He's in there
talking.
3 fucking days. All right, so now it is January 12th, 1956, just 5 days before we've hit the statute of limitations, and the FBI starts making arrests.
No fucking
I have goosebumps. I wrote this. I know what happens. And I still have goosebumps because they're so close. 5 days.
Fucking days, bro, and then you're free.
Yep.
Scot-free.
Man.
That's it.
Specs was like, days. I got nothing to show for it. All right. So the first people arrested are our main man, our mastermind, Bats Pino, co-planner and big crime boss,
Big Joe,
who was dining with the police and disposing of evidence. Vincent Costa, the cousin or brother-in-law who got kidnapped, our little flashlight man.
Yep. Goose.
Damn. Are you reading my notes?
No, dude. I'm fucking heavy into this.
You are. Okay. Yeah. And then 3 other robbers from that night. Henry Baker, who I call Patty Cakes. Jazz Maffey, also his name's Adolf, and then Michael Geegan. And so that's 7 guys right there. Now,
there's more, right?
There are more, and my assumption is that they charge everyone, but they just don't arrest them all because they continue to make arrests. So in May, 4 months later, 2 more of the guys get arrested. Sandy Richardson, Sandy Dick, aka, and Jim Faherty. And
Faherty.
Yep. So that's it. So that's 9 guys from the crew, plus old Motormouth Specs.
How much of that money do they spend, though?
I'm going to get to that.
All right.
And Specs also back in January, he just pleads guilty. So I'm like, bruh, you didn't even get fucking immunity.
And you ran all this shit. You talking all that shit, and you didn't even set yourself up for success.
Like what? They would have given you probably any fucking thing.
You may be a weasel and be able to dodge bullets, slither through the grass, dude, but you're a fucking idiot.
Yep, dumb through and through.
Yeah.
Now, there was one person, Joseph Banfield, who I think was one of the getaway drivers. He had already passed away. Then, 6 months after his arrest, Stanley Goose Giora, whose name isn't Goose, he also passes away.
In prison?
I think so.
Yeah.
So that leaves 9 men to prosecute for the Great Brinks Robbery. And on October 9th, 1956, 6 years and 9 months after the robbery, a jury is weighing in on the fates of all the men, except for Specs. I assume he has another thing. And all of the men except Big Joe, who wasn't actually in the Brinks building, get life in prison.
Life? Mm-hmm. Over a robbery, bro?
Yep.
Oh, and, fuck.
Big Joe was still ruled as an accessory.
Specs gets life?
I don't know what Specs got. It didn't say.
Oh, man.
I assume he got a reduced sentence, but...
Life is crazy for robbing.
Specs is...
They didn't hurt anyone, right?
No one got hurt.
Life is crazy.
So, and the thing is like... Nope, I forgot my point. Oh, the only reason they even know anything happened is because Specs ran his mouth. They didn't know. They just had suspicions.
Shut your mouth. You'd have been good for fucking... It was 11 days?
Yep.
You'd have been straight.
Yep. Okay, so... Big Joe ends up getting 12 and a half to 15 years. He gets charged with multiple things, but doesn't get life for that anyway. All right. So what about the money? Oh, side note also, I forgot to write this down. Brinks spent more, Brinks slash the FBI and police, it all was spent way more than the value of what was stolen.
To catch them.
To catch them.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Way more. Like at that point, I'm assuming it's on principle. But okay. So what about the real money? The $34.6 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, only $58,000 was ever recovered, which is the equivalent of $742,000.
That's right.
So $742,000 out of $34.6 million. Struggling with numbers. Ever was recovered. And that money...
At least they got to enjoy it a little bit. Or is it sitting somewhere?
I don't know. So there are some rumors that it could be buried somewhere still, but no one really knows. They've never found the rest of the money.
Imagine you're just out digging a pool for your new house and
boom,
money.
Man, you'd have to put it. I mean, we watch so much Prison Break. You'd have to have it in some plastic and other stuff. It's not getting like eaten away.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. They also made a movie about this in 1978 called The Brinks Job, which I would
we need to watch.
Yeah, I was thinking
maybe. The Brinks Job.
Yeah.
We're watching that this weekend.
But there's a ton of information out there too beyond what I even just covered.
Yep.
I was trying to fit it in one episode. So check our show notes if you want to learn more. There's a ton of great articles out there about it. So What do we think?
By far one of the coolest stories I've been told. I don't know.
Really?
It's fucking dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I was so excited. I'm like, I'm going to mix it up and do a different type of crime this week.
Dude, I remembered all the names. Everything was just...
You did.
I was putting faces to their names. I was like, I knew Specs was a little fucking weasel.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great.
Awesome.
Killed
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Please join us each Monday for a new episode.
We appreciate you guys.
Yes, we appreciate you. Catch us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts, all at Criminally Unqualified.
That's right.
All right. Bye.
And that's the show.